I thought like, oh, maybe I could become a consultant, and I don't know like what that means. And that I still don't really know what consultants do, even though I did a consult. But I work for this company
If you
called
ever figure that out, please tell me,
yeah,
because I still don't know what a
yeah,
consultant is.
which kind of was like a good thing to do if you don't know what you're going to do with your life. You know? And I thought like, okay, there was a company called Boston Consulting Group. I went there, I worked there for a year and a half, and I could kind of learn about business, and you really get to work in a lot of different industries. So, you know, it was a kind of an interesting place to just see what kind of jobs are out there in the world. And I was also in LA, and I thought if I don't make it as a writer, I guess I can go to business school, or I can go back and become a programmer. And I remember when I didn't have the way it works there is like sometimes you're on a project, and when you're on that project, you go and work at the client side, and you like live there, and you live in a motel or a hotel, and
Right.
when you don't, you try and help sell projects, and you might not have that much work to do. And when I was doing that, I would write what was called a spec script, which would be if there was a show that you loved, and I think I loved Curb Your Enthusiasm at that time.
Oh yeah.
So I wrote like an episode of Curb Your Enthusiasm, and I showed it to some friends of mine. Like I had a friend who was a little bit older than me, who was a writer on The Simpsons, and he read it and he said like, "This isn't very good." And but he was like, he knew me and we were friends, and he knew like my take, and he was able to give me constructive criticism in a way that like basically didn't hurt my feelings because we had a lot of trust between us, and that was a big part of becoming a writer, is learning how to take notes. And so I wrote then another script, and then it was for a show called 2.5 Men, which is another show that I really liked. And it was a really like, there's a lot of jokes in that show, and that was really what I liked doing. And he said like, you should write a multi-camera show, like one of those in front of the studio audience shows, because you can write you're good at, you like jokes, you're good at writing jokes, like write a lot of jokes, which is Curb is really funny stories. And story breaking for me, like I said, I didn't come from thinking about theater. That was hard. That was something I had to work on and over the course of my career to get better at it. And he was like, play to your strengths while you're learning about story. Come up with a really simple story and write a lot of jokes, and you know these characters